Hey y'all, you're listening to an all-new episode of the Christian Gray Snow Show. It's a podcast from Hurrdat Media. I am your host, Christian Gray Snow, and happy Friday! We have got lots to discuss this week, so let's make like Whitney on a stripper pole in Thailand and get going, okay? Hello, my beautiful people. I hope you have all had a very lovely week so far. I am coming to you again from my new life here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am still adjusting to this new life and this new job of mine. By the time all of you hear this, I will have completed 2 weeks at the new job. Crazy that I already have almost 2 weeks under my belt here. Everyone keeps asking. I went home to see family for Easter and had an uncle's birthday party, and an aunt came in from Texas, so I got to see her. And of course, everyone's like, "Well, how was the first week?" And what are you thinking? Are you going to like it? And, I just keep telling everybody, I am fearful I'm going to jinx it, so I don't want to say too much, but like, so far, so good. I really am loving Charlotte. The job is wonderful. I thought the hours would be brutal. I do get up at like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, which is rough, but I'm home by like 12:30, 1 o'clock every day. You know how beautiful that is? Like, I nap so hard, I basically die, like, here lies Shannon Vidor. That is me for like 4 hours. And then I wake up, have dinner, watch a TV show or two, and then I go right back to sleep. It's a wonderful cycle. So, again, I am adjusting. I even got invited to a new coworker's house this weekend for like a cookout type thing, a barbecue, whatever you want to call it. Here in the South, we call it a cookout. And I'll just be honest, I'm actually excited to go. Like, I like the people I work with. I'm excited to get to know them more. And if you know me in the past, that was a huge no-no. Like, in Seattle, I got invited out to, like, get pedicures with a coworker one time. And I literally, just dry heaved at the thought. Like, number one, I don't like hanging out with coworkers outside of the four walls of work. Like, we work together. We don't live together. You ain't my roommate. You my office mate. You know what I'm saying? So we don't really have to, we share enough of our lives together in these four walls. We ain't got to share anymore outside of here. That's how I've always felt in the past. However, new city, new me. And I want to get to know my coworkers. I was invited. I'm very, very excited to go. Very excited to go. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. Something else I'm really excited about is that BravoCon, this is something that I hinted on the last time we chatted, was that it seemed like BravoCon was going to be going to Las Vegas, and they have officially made the announcement. BravoCon 2023 is going to be in Las Vegas the first weekend of November. All right. So my thoughts on this are woo fucking who. Am I a little ass hurt that I just moved from the West Coast to the East Coast and y'all swap coasts for BravoCon? Absolutely. New York from North Carolina, quick hour flight, real easy, $150. North Carolina to Vegas, 5-hour flight, $500. But it's okay because I'm already booked. Been booked, been ready. Also got my hotel booked. We booked our hotel before Bravo actually announced their partners in the hotel. So I'm not at the Link or Harrah's or Caesars. I'm definitely not at Caesars. $500 a night. Some of y'all got money. I ain't got money like that. I mean, I feel like Gina. So I'm going to be like Gina over at the Flamingo, and all you Heather DeBros over at Caesars, remember me. Okay. So my hopes for BravoCon, I really hope ticket prices are fair. I really, really, really want the SVIP package this year. It just seemed so good last year, and if I can, I'm going to splurge on it. We will see. But who knows? Something else that I really hope that the lines are more fair. I think there was just so many things going, there was so much going on last time, but I almost feel like we have to have even more because we have to break up the crowds a little bit. Or maybe it was just the facility that we were in that just felt like it was a little too crowded. Everyone saw the videos and stuff from BravoCon last year, but I also felt like that was dramatic. It was chaotic. There was a lot of fucking people, a lot of energy in the room, but it was nothing crazy, like that. So I'm hoping that it will be even better in that regard this year. And really, oh God, we need IV bars. Bravo, if for the love of God, if anybody from Bravo is listening to this, we need IV bars at BravoCon. Okay. I mean, like at the door, like right when I come in, because like I needed one in New York by day 2 last year. Cause you got to think, everybody got there Thursday and everybody was like whooping it up, excited to see each other. Like all these Bravo fans connecting, everybody's meeting their their friends and stuff. Everybody's whooping it up, partying. And then Friday, adrenaline, BravoCon, drink. Friday night, drink. Saturday, death. Vicky in Iceland in the hospital, in the heart attack. That's like what I felt like the entire time I was at BravoCon last year, because I think I just wore myself out. It was way too much adrenaline. So I think IVs would have helped. And Vegas is known for having like their IV bars because everybody in Vegas gets way too messed up. So we got to have those at BravoCon. I think that would just be a fantastic addition. Also, just going to put it out there. Look, this could fall on deaf ears, but you know what? They say closed mouths don't get fed. A dream of mine is to moderate a panel at BravoCon. You know how fucking cool that would be? I want to moderate a panel of OGs. Like, I want Vicky, I want Teresa, I want Kyle, and I want Sheree. I want those 4 on a panel, and I want to talk to them about life as a housewife and not being a housewife for some of them now. And throw Ramona's crazy ass up there too. But I would love to just be, and also just, why not? That would be so cool. And to get up there and ask some fun, shady questions and get the girls going and get the audience all hyped up to see everybody. Like they would have to drag me off that stage. They would. So just putting it out there. All right, we're going to move on to Real Housewives of New Jersey. The girls are off to Ireland this week, and Melissa is bringing sleepy time tea and like on the flight when they get to the flight. I thought this was so funny. And Jim Fessler is hilarious, even though she did. We're going to get to her in just a second about some shit that I don't think she should have said. But Jim Fessler looks at Melissa. She's like, sleepy time fucking tea. Like, grow the fuck up. Haven't you ever heard of vodka and Xanax? Like, what is this? Elementary school? What are you, a beginner? Like, girl, drug yourself and go to sleep and wake up in a new country, okay? Speaking of waking up in a new country, I would hate to wake up and see that Jackie was in a new country with me. Why is Jackie on this trip? Jackie has contributed a mere few sentences to this season so far. And Bravo out here paying how many hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for her to fly to Dublin? Bad idea. No reason for her. Jim Fessler is the only friend of needed in this group. That's how I feel. Sorry, Jackie. And also the trip. Why wasn't Danielle in first class, but the other women were? So it looks like Bravo probably just paid for the economy ticket, and then it was left up to the cast to upgrade themselves to business class or first class if they chose to, which for me is like a logistical nightmare, because I looked at some of the flight trackings between Newark and Dublin. They could be on like a 777, which has a lot of seats in first class, okay? But you got to think, how often do you just roll up to the airport and there are like 6 or 7, 8 seats in first class that people can just buy? Like, I feel like that shit gets booked up often. And also, they get booked up like quick. And I feel like, are these women like actually all banding together in advance to be like, oh, let's upgrade our seats. I don't know. So this is just a weird, like, technical, logistical thing that I found to be weird. And I felt really bad for Danielle. Like, you would not, let me tell you something right now. I don't even fly first class like that. I can count on one hand the number of times I've flown first class. And I think 2 times was like a complimentary upgrade, and the other times was just a small fee that I paid. It is what it is. And however, if I'm filming a reality show and the bulk majority of the cast is flying first class and I can't afford it, or am choosing not to because I don't want to spend the money on it, know this: I ain't flying with y'all. I'm gonna be sick. I'm going to get a flat tire on the way to the airport. My kid's going to throw up right before I leave. I'm going to get in an accident. I am going to forget my passport. All kinds of things are going to go wrong to make me miss that flight because you will not film me in the economy section with the rest of the cast in first class. I will fly separate without a camera crew, and I will see y'all the fuck there, okay? And when they got there, one of the first things they start talking about is like, I think they're like talking about banging celebrities or something. And Jen Fessler says that she fucked James Gandolfini, the guy from like The Sopranos. And he took her to an S&M bar, and she said he was absolutely inside me. Listen, I just said she is hilarious, and I love her. And anybody who has been around me for more than 30 seconds is aware of the vulgarity that comes out of this mouth of mine, of these two lips, okay? However, this man is dead. He is dead and has a family, a wife, children, and has been dead for almost a decade, and you out here lusting over him. Talking about how she was just devastated when he passed away, and her husband was like, yo, bitch, like, knock, knock, I'm your man, you know? So, I don't know. I just thought that was loud. I love me some Jen. Probably could have gone the rest of my life without hearing that comment, just being honest. I thought it was also hilarious that when they were getting their rooms assigned to them, they're staying in this like super old castle, by the way, which I don't actually think is haunted. I think Melissa's just like playing into this angle because she wants to like have attention. But it was just funny how Jen's like, I don't really give a shit about like having a good room. Like I live in a palace 365 days a year. My house is massive. I have like 18 bathrooms, okay? And then somehow it just worked out that she got like the second to best room. And she was like, boom, bitches, that's what you get. And I thought it was funny that she tried to pretend like she didn't really give a shit about getting the nice room. But when she finally got it, she was like, absolutely, I'm like, thrilled to have this great room. And that Margaret is down there in this little boy's small bedroom. And to which Tree said, it matches your eyes because it was blue. Speaking of Jen and Teresa, Jen, baby, the coffee reader exposure. What is going on? Basically, we almost got away with it with Jen not revealing that apparently she had spoken to the coffee reader before last week's episode, the like psychic lady, and says that she called her and told her all about her, not all about it, but told her that she and Margaret were having some issues. And then it cuts to Jen's confessional, and she's like, honestly, like, you know, maybe I got carried away and said like way too much. And it's like, baby, if that was another woman that did that, I would have to talk shit on them. I'm going to give you a pass because you're my girl. But we've got to clean up our messes better, okay? And also, that psychic is an idiot for using the same words that Jen told her. Like, you can't... In college, if your friend gives you an essay, you don't submit it word for word. You Google synonyms for every big word that's in there. Hello. Not sure what the lady was thinking. And then, continuing with, you know, I'll always be Team Jen. But I was like, oh, Jen, don't do that. Because Jen was saying, you know, she doesn't want to, like, bring drama to a family, especially drama that is similar to, like, the things that she and her family had to go through last year with Margaret bringing up that Bill was unfaithful. And so, in 1 minute, Jen is like, you know, I don't want to bring this up. Like, this Laura lady told Margaret some shit and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I will say Danielle is smart because Danielle was like, I knew it was about Melissa because it was the way that you and Teresa seemed like, just the way that they would react about it. And the way that she's like, I knew it had to be about Melissa. And I just want to say, I do wish the ammo that they had from this Laura girl, the tea that Laura had spilled to them, I wish that it was something about Marge and not something that Marge allegedly revealed that she knew. Because with it just being about Melissa, it's like, here we go again. And I'm just like, I'm fucking exhausted. I don't have the energy for it, you know? But then, you know, Jen, she went right on ahead and told Danielle, she said, yeah, basically there was like a guy that worked for Margaret or something like that. And that the guy saw Melissa making out with another man in the backseat of a car. And I just want to say, no one, when they're coming up with a lie, is going to say they saw you making out in the backseat of a car. If they're coming up with a lie, they're going to make it salacious. They're going to make it raunchy. They're going to make it, backseat of a car? Ain't nothing fucking hot or romantic about that. Which leads me to believe that it's true. Because why the fuck would somebody pull that out of their ass? That they were in the backseat of a car? That's random. So, who knows? But back to me, I don't have the energy for this, so it doesn't matter. We're not even going down that road. Wrong road, in the words of Portia. Moving on. We did get another Teresa-ism this episode. She's given us a couple this season. She gave us meal mountain out of a meal hole or something like that. And then this week, when they were in Dublin, they were talking, I think, was there like strippers or something? And she was like, you know, she was trying to say Channing Tatum, talking about Magic Mike. And she said, Channing Tatum. So, how can you not love her? I'll never understand. We also get another glimpse of Melissa yet again, complaining about the wedding invites. It says that she, you know, doesn't understand how her mom and sister weren't invited when they've been so good to Teresa. And I did find it kind of interesting in this all. Teresa seems to specify that it's not about her mom. It's not about Donna. That it's about, it kind of seemed like it was more so about the sisters, you know. And speaking of the sisters, whenever Jen says that, you know, Melissa being invited to the wedding was an obligation, everyone seemed so disgusted by that. But it was Melissa's sister who said to Teresa at the christening all those years ago that her being invited was a technicality. And I'm not trying to go back 10 years, but it's like, if y'all want to fucking get mad at some dumb bullshit that you can't do that when people in your party have already done it. And exhausted. So, I don't know. And Teresa invited Joe and Melissa to her birthday thing. Off camera, before the filming started. They refused to go. She invites them to the wedding when filming starts. They end up not even going to that. They were bound and determined to find an issue with this. I will die on that hill. And speaking of dying, I need a break. Give me a second. I also watched Watch What Happens Live after Real Housewives of New Jersey because I wanted to see Melissa in the second seat. It was lovely to see. And listen, there was even a Page 6 article about Melissa and Angie getting a little testy with each other. I saw Queens of Bravo posted about it. Again, back to, you know, my job having me up at 4 a.m. I'm having to watch these shows like the next day. So my commentary for as far as Instagram and stuff goes the last couple of weeks has been off. Apologies. I'll try to get better. Just still adjusting to the new schedule. But anyway, yeah. Andy seemed very much over Melissa in this episode. It seemed like to me, am I a biased viewer? Obviously. But she just seemed to quickly become defensive about everything. She seemed kind of annoyed from the beginning, which leads me to believe maybe she was kind of pissed off about the seating arrangement. She also, and a viewer wrote in about like, you know, why would Teresa invite your mom to her wedding when your mom's out here liking all these horrible tweets about Teresa? To which Melissa's defense was, listen, those tweets are from years and years ago. Like, who even really cares about that? And it's like, then fast forward, they find tweets that her mom was liking like in the last week or so. And she's like, well, who even cares? Like, it doesn't even matter. It's like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't fucking think if Teresa and them, somebody from Teresa's camp or Louis was liking bad tweets about you or Louis' sister or Louis' mom, that y'all wouldn't be running for the hills with this? Give me a break. And also, Andy's asking, like, you know, how are you not mad at Margaret whenever the rumor is allegedly she's the one that spread it? And Melissa's like, Well, because the woman can't be trusted. Margaret never said that. Basically, that's what she's alluding to, is that Margaret never said it. And basically saying, like, she can't be trusted. Like, this is a woman who, like, lies her ass off to just try and get on the Real Housewives, talking about Margaret's friend Laura. And it's like, meanwhile, do we not know how Melissa got on the Housewives? Was by reaching out to Danielle and giving her tea to try and piss off Melissa and get in producers' ears to get on the show. So, are you saying you can't be fucking trusted, Melissa? Like, I just felt like she got an attitude with Andy. I felt like she asked him, was he a certified therapist? Here's the clip.
Why are you still friends with Marge when Laura got the cheating information and specifics from her?
Because it's untrue. This is a woman who
I know, but if it came from Marge...
But are you listening to what I'm saying? This is a woman who wants to be on The Housewives, who auditioned 3 times and didn't make it. So
She
now
did?
there's yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Andy.
Okay.
You know this.
No, I know. I see a lot of tapes, so I'm sure that I saw her.
You've seen hers a couple times.
Okay. In other words, I don't feel that I'm going to get any kind of resolution out of the reunion.
And that's
what I'm
fair,
saying.
because you're not a therapist, right? Are you certified?
Well, I mean, okay, well, let's not question my credentials.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, I'm certified.
You are?
Well, no, but after 16 years of doing this, I think I have some idea of what I'm doing.
Okay. No, you are. You're technically a therapist, but like you know better than to try to work with us, right?
So you can kind of see and feel the tension between the two. And everyone, like, on Twitter was like, Teresa is never on Watch What Happens Live and not completely grilled about everything. Everything. And Melissa and Joe have notoriously gotten off easy. And I just think that this Watch What Happens Live appearance was a very indicative sign that they seem to be in the stages of realizing things are not working out in their favor. And it is not looking cute for them. I just think that, and even Joe saying, like, you don't give up on family. Don't give up on family. This chapter's not over, because Teresa has publicly said, no, like, this chapter's closed. Like, I'm done. And it's like, okay, now all of a sudden you're adamant about, no, this isn't over. This isn't over, because they need to secure in another season. So, and also, if you notice, there was a lot of times where she would answer Andy, and it's like she kept looking at Joe like, what the fuck is going on? And she even said that Margaret was texting her like, oh my God, Andy's grilling you. And I hope that that's even remotely half the energy that Andy has for them at the reunion, which is set to tape next week. By the time I talk to y'all next week, the reunion will have filmed. And God only knows what articles will be floating around out there about some leaks that, come from production. But tree huggers, it's time to pray. Pray for our girl. Some exciting news that came our way this week was that, well, this is for all my Real Housewives of New York fans out there. If you're a fan of the OGs, our Ramonas, our Luanns, our Sonias, our Dorinda. Sonia and Dorinda are OGs, but they're icons, And so there's obviously been so much back and forth, as we've talked about. I discussed, also with Baggy, Best of Bravo, how Luann was on this like PR tour, seemingly trying to get the network's attention that, on social media, there's a huge reaction to this group of women and this group of friends who have been on this journey of reality television for so many years, and that they should probably greenlight a project for them, because everything was falling through, with RHONY Legacy when Ramona wasn't signing on, and then Jill was giving a hard time because she wanted everybody to have most favored nations clause. And so it seems like Bravo has gone back to the drawing board yet again, because Page 6 announced this week that Bravo will be reviving its shelved. This is what they said. Bravo is trying to revive its shelved Real Housewives of New York City Legacy project as a short Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Strip style show. And the network is hoping Ramona Singer will be back. The Stinger is here, y'all. Page 6 says, as we first reported, Bravo attempted to create a show with a fan favorite of cast members from old seasons of RHONY as a spin-off show would run for a full season, but that idea fell apart amidst contract negotiations. However, we're now told execs have retooled it as a special style show documenting a short span of time, especially like Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. They film for like 7-8 days. This will be the same thing. They'll probably get 8 to 10 episodes out of it. Boom, boom, boom. Quick paycheck. We're all happy. We get 2 weeks of content, 3 weeks of content, 4 weeks of content, something like that, depending on how many episodes they drop in the first week. We're all happy, And so right now they're saying that Luann, Sonia, Kelly, Ben Simone, Dorinda, and Ramona are the ones that have signed on. I pray that Tinsley signs on. I pray that Carol would sign on. I know that Carol never will. But Carol, it would just be great. I don't give a fuck if Bethany's there or not. So I'm just really, really, really thrilled that this is happening. I think these women deserve some justice. I'm not mad that Bravo. I do think Bravo had good intentions for Legacy. I feel like it was what seemed to be the right move at the time, and I felt like it was a way to try and keep everyone happy. Both parties of cast, the new ladies, a group of former cast members and viewers too. And so I appreciate the efforts that they're clearly seeing that they got to do something. And for that, I'm grateful. And I just know that these women better, I know they're going to show up and give a show. They are going to give a fucking show. I even tweeted the other day that I swear to God, the crew members, even if it's like just a week of filming, are going to need therapy at post-wrapping, because they're going to bring so much pent up, I think, aggression and anger and feelings, and also excitement to be back on camera and to hopefully create some iconic pop culture moments. And yeah, so I believe it was Queens of Bravo said that they were even scheduled to start filming, I believe in June. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like that's what they said. So right around the corner, and I could not be more excited. Speaking of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, let's talk Girls Trip Thailand. We start off this week. Giselle in this fucking bottle. Also, it's like, I feel like we'll never find out what happened to the bottle. It's going to be just like Heather Gay's black eye. But Pepsi crying, I will never forgive Giselle for that. In the entirety of my span as a human on this earth, I will never forgive Giselle for that. I feel awful for him. This man has gone above and beyond to try and make these women feel comfortable and excited to be in this country and on this trip and in this house. And the way that, I don't know, just something about Giselle's energy towards Pepsi, I don't know. I don't like it. But be nice to Pepsi. Pepsi is a nice man, and I said this before, I said it again. If he's not at BravoCon, then I'm not fucking going. I want to meet and greet with Pepsi. He needs to meet and greet. Pepsi needs to be at BravoCon. He needs to be flued out, room paid for, and to be treated like the star that he is. Absolutely. I also want to say, everyone knows that I do not like Leah at all. Can't stand Leah. But I'm sorry, her response to Portia's, what she said about Portia was valid, in my opinion, about Portia's behavior, and Portia not tagging Candace and Leah, but also in one breath saying the Real Housewives is a sisterhood and this is a safe space. But it's like you intentionally did not tag them. And you can sit here and try and pretend like it's because you're not full of shit and I'm not going to tag somebody I don't fuck with, It's like, no, you did it to be shady. And you did it to get people to pay attention to it. And you knew that it would have some sort of effect. And Portia is basically like, Leah, you just want a moment because you haven't done anything on this fucking trip, which is correct. Leah is a bore. She was in the hospital shitting and throwing up this time. So Leah has been a bore, but I certainly don't think that this moment right now is an attempt to get some screen time, So listen, Portia has been great on this trip, but this moment for me was whack. I wasn't feeling it. But also she said that her face was inflamed. She was wearing sunglasses. I'm wondering if she wasn't feeling well. Someone else also had sunglasses on. Whitney also had sunglasses on. So I don't know. The energy at the table then just wasn't meshing. So I don't know. But Portia, please don't make me team Leah. Also, Whitney and Heather hugged it out in the rain like fucking Notebook and cried. Heather said it's the most real moment that they have shared in a year. The other women call it a blessing. So this was shot in July of 2022. But so clearly something happened because I was at BravoCon 2022 in October. So 3 or 4 months after this wrap. And they were clearly not on good terms. They were dragging each other in panels every fucking chance that they could get. It was actually at BravoCon, I think, that people realized, holy shit, Heather and Whitney are literally, done forever. So, but all of us not knowing that they had just hugged it out and had this beautiful crying, jump in the pool with our titties out naked moment to, wash away our sins. And now they hate each other again. So I really don't know what happened. I tweeted, I was like, what the fuck happened? Someone pointed out it could have just been, they probably watched the show back. I guess the show did start airing, so maybe all those old feelings came up and that little rain, bath, forgiveness, kiss and hug moment went out the window. So also, I love that on this show, they can break the fourth wall because Whitney and Heather jumped in the pool with their mic packs on. And Marisol's like, that's like $6,000 worth of microphones, which, what? $6,000? But also, I just love that you could like hear Heather mumbling. She's like, fuck, we forgot to take our mics off. Like, they would never, you can't do that on Bravo. So just refreshing to see that, this is a full production. There's a whole team of people here making this thing happen. And speaking of Heather, my friend and I were talking about this. She was a lot more enjoyable this episode, I will say. Like, she was talking about her pencil, her nipples looking like number 2 pencil erasers. I thought that was hilarious. She was like making references to Giselle being like Regina George, and she was just thankful to be included. And I don't know. It's just, I've said before in another episode how Ultimate Girls Trip, I think, really serves as an opportunity for people to change how we feel about them. But I don't expect to couple episodes think that they're whack and then the next episode find them to be hilarious. But that's where I'm at with Heather right now. And I think that's the beauty of this show, is that they get to show these women in a fun, whole new light, and it's just, I don't know. I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. Also, how weird is it that Marisol started out sick on this trip and now Leah's ending sick? Methinks Mama Elsa saw that Marisol don't fuck with Leah that much, and she's like, switched it up. Now Leah's in the hospital. What can you say? They also went to this beautiful temple, 500 years old, I think they said. And I love seeing Pepsi like show them around and like give them kind of like a tour and explain things to them. And I don't know. I love Pepsi, and I hope that in the future seasons of Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip, they really do lean into like they had the house guy in the first season, and then they had some guy in season 2, but none of them have had an impact like Pepsi. So I think that they really need to lean into that like house manager role. Like, it needs to be someone that's really, really, really going to vibe well with the women, care about the women. Yeah, and I just think Pepsi really, really hit all those marks. So they also get these papers that are like from a wall. I can't remember how they were like assigned to them, and when he read it out, it was kind of like what their future was, or like what would describe them. And Candace's was that she was lonely, but always pushes through no matter what she's dealing with, to which she said was accurate. Then he gets to Portia and says that she's going to have a problem with a lesbian. Like, what the actual... I don't even know. Fucking hilarious. So they end up doing this like tantric dinner too. And like, I swear it got dirty, but I loved it. Giselle said if a dick isn't worth 2 hands worth, then she don't want it. To which Heather replied, that is terrifying. And I do have to say, I agree. So, back to Heather being the one with, the reasonable, funny one that we agree with on this episode. Who would have thought? Like I said, it's a shame that she's a liar face sometimes, because she's pretty fucking hilarious otherwise. Also, speaking of hilarious, I almost died when they were doing their stripper pole stuff. And obviously, Whitney she does it as like a workout. She loves getting on the pole, She's been open about that in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She has like one in her dressing room or her bedroom or whatever. And when she got on that pole, was showing these women how it was done, and it cut to Alexia, and Alexia said, Whitney looks great, but when I see her on that pole, all I can think about are her kids. I fucking died. Absolutely hilarious. And another thing I loved, the last scene, was getting to see housewives get stoned on camera and get high. More of this, please. Seeing Candace and Whitney smoke a joint in a confessional in a house, and then Whitney go raid the kitchen, KFC, get on a pool with her phone in fried chicken, and fall in the pool. If that is not, somebody needs to write a summer anthem about that. Stoned in the pool with chicken, stoned in the pool with KFC in Thailand. I don't know. I just think that is the absolute epitome of what I want out of life. To be high with some good fast food, some good chicken on a pool float by myself with my phone to scroll through Instagram. Whitney is a forever mood. I also hope that you guys have a fantastic mood to carry you throughout this weekend. Thank you so much for joining me and kicking off your weekend with me. As always, as I always say, don't do anything I wouldn't do this weekend, which means you're free to go be a crazy slut pig. All right. Y'all be good, be safe, and I will see you right back here same time next week. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Pesos.